Hello and welcome everyone. It's my pleasure today to introduce the third tool in the Magic Tools family. Today I introduce the XLS Magic tool, which is allocated to deal with the Excel files issued from Primavera to update the project or modify its data. We will start with a practical example with the Magic tool to learn about its capabilities and features, and then we will make a quick summary of these capabilities and features after this practical example. We will go to Primavera and we will export a project file. For example, we will choose this project and we will export its Excel file. We will select all tables of this project, and we will determine the export of the file based on the default Primavera settings, which can be changed from this option. And we will distinguish the file name with this word before, which means before the update process. Close. We will return to the Magic tool and search for this file before. After opening the file, we will find it like this without any formats, and needs to be reformatted to facilitate the update process. Here the first feature of the Magic tool appears, as you can format the file and prepare it for the update or modification. Select the file and prepare it from this option. Start. Close. As you see, within a few seconds the Magic tool will do the job. If we go back to the file, we will find it has been formatted like this, and all tables are ready for update within a few seconds. There are some notes on the coordination process. The first line is characterized by three colors: red, green and yellow. Red indicates that this column should be returned to Primavera. Green indicates that this column is optional and can be returned to Primavera and also can be neglected. Yellow indicates that this column is ignored when re-exporting the file to Primavera. This was for the first line. The second line is also characterized by three colors: green, yellow and red. Green indicates that this column can be updated with any value, whether this value is numerical, text or date, depending on the column whose data is updated. Yellow indicates that this column can be updated, but the update value must already be present in the database to which the file will be re-exported, or present in the data of the project being updated. Red indicates that this column cannot be updated. In addition to these three colors, you will find a comment in the first cell of each column, which contains the same meanings that I have said, in addition to some words that can be used in the update. For example, this column has this comment which contains three words that can be used to update this column, and you can select one of them in the update process. This was regard to the file format and its preparation for the update process. We will now start a simple update process. For example, add this activity and name it security, and suppose that this activity exists in this WPS and it has not started yet. In the table of the activities relationships, we will link this new activity with this activity and suppose that the relation is start to start and the lag is 0. In the cost of the project, we will assume that this activity has this expense cost of security, and the target cost is 10,000. The total cost is 10,000. The actual cost is 0, and the remaining cost is 10,000. Thus, one record was added to these three tables in the update process. As an example of modifying the existing data, assume that we will change the name of this activity by adding the word final. Thus, the update process included adding 3 new records and changing 1 existing record. The next feature of the Magic tool is when adding or editing new data, you should only pay attention to the type of data required as a numerical or text or date, and the Magic tool will format the data according to the Primavera requirements. The Magic tool will also test the tables and detect any errors that may cause the file to be rejected from Primavera. To take advantage of these features, we will return to the Magic tool and select the tables that have been modified, and we will request to test the file and format it. Start. Okay. The file is formatted and tested. In case of any errors in the file, they will appear here or here, and you should correct them before you re-export the file to Primavera. As you see, the file is ready now to be re-exported to Primavera. As an example for how the Magic tool detects the errors, we will change this activity name like this, and we retest the file after this modification. Select the file, go, start, okay, and search for the errors or notes. As you see, the Magic tool has detected this error, and you should correct this error before you re-export the file to Primavera. Close. We will return to the file, and in the task table we will correct this error by removing this character, and we retest the file again. Select the file and test it. Start. Okay, errors, no errors, notes, no notes. As you see, the error has disappeared. Close, and now the file is ready to be exported to Primavera. Before re-exporting the updated file to Primavera and updating the project with this new data, we will shed light on another use of the Magic tool, which is to compare the file after updating it with the original file before updating to see the added and modified data. To do this comparison, we will select the project and use this option, start. After completing this mission, we will find some differences between the two files. We will return to the project file to review these differences. Close. In the task table, this record has been colored in yellow, which indicates that this is a new record. As this record has been colored in red, which indicates that this is a modified record. Among the advantages of the Magic tool, you will find a comment accompanying this modified record, which contains the value of the record before modification, so that you can compare the data in the same file, and you don't need to return to the original file to search for the value before modification. By reviewing the activity relationships table, we will find that the new record has been colored in yellow. Likewise, in the project cost table, the new record has been colored in yellow. Thus, the yellow color is used to mark the new data, and the red color is used to mark the modified data. With a quick return to Primavera, we will update the project with the new data. Import. Excel file. We will search for this file. This is our file. Open. Next. These are the modified tables, and import to this project. Finish. As you see, the new data has been imported successfully. The next feature of the Magic tool will enable you to compare the file before importing it into Primavera with the same file after exporting it from Primavera, to ensure that all added and modified data has been entered as required. Before exporting the file from Primavera, don't forget to refresh data. And in the case of large projects, it's best to wait some time to make sure that all data has been written to the database, and it's preferable to refresh data several times before exporting the file from Primavera. We will export the same file and select all tables. Of this project, and we will export the file according to the same previous settings of Primavera, and we will distinguish the file name with this word after, which means after update. Close. We return to the Magic tool. Thus we have now two files. The first one after the update and before we import it into Primavera, and the second one after re-exporting it from Primavera. We will search for the file after. This is our file, and we will format it after. Prepare. Start. As we see, in a few seconds the file has been formatted. This is the file after. We will now use the Magic tool to compare the two files. We select the file after and compare it through this option with the file before. Choose all tables. OK. Start. After completing the comparison, we will find some differences between the two files. You can use these filters, and you can also print the results. We return to the file and make sure that these differences have no effect on the project, because the two files are supposed to be exactly the same. we start with the task table here and search for the red cells. As you see, these are the locations of the differences. We will find that these changes are what have been completed by Primavera to complete all data of the new activity. And in the relationship table, we will find also these are the red cells. That have been added by Primavera to complete the activity relationship data. As you see, this is our relation. This is a new activity linked with this activity with this relationship start to start, and the lag is 0. In the project cost table, this is the expense that we have added to this table, and the red cell is added by Primavera to complete the data of this record. Thus the expense of this activity has been added as required, and the red cell is to complete only the rest of the cost data. We conclude that the two files are completely identical and there are no changes or difference between them, and all updates have been added to Primavera just as required. This was a practical example of how to use the Magic tool to help you to update the Primavera projects by using the Excel files. I will now briefly summarize the features and the capabilities of the XLS Magic tool. Use this option to open the project file. Use this option to prepare the file for the updating process. Use this option to choose the tables. Use this option to test the file after updating it and to discover any errors that may prevent it from being re-entered into the Primavera, as well as formatting the file to suit the Primavera's requirements. Use this option to compare the file after updating it with the original file before updating, where the comparison is made on the basis that there are no changes in the order of rows or columns. We also note that the new records appear in yellow while the modifications appear in red, with a comment contains the original value before the modification. Use this option to make any general comparison between any two Primavera projects. It's preferable to use this option to compare the project file that was updated before entering it into Primavera with the same file after re-exporting it from Primavera. Until we meet with a new member of the Magic Tools family, goodbye and good luck.